Today I have one of the sweetest people I have ever met in this online business journey on the show today. Her name is Jessica Principe, and she is the founder of All Girls Shave Club, a women's shaving subscription service and online boutique that serves thousands of women across the US and Canada each month. As a speaker, author, and subscription strategist, she loves to help business owners leverage the power of recurring revenue. She lives in southern New Hampshire with her husband, 2 little boys, and golden retriever, Rudy. And today's episode, we're going to talk about how she came up with her idea for her subscription box in the shower and built something out of nothing. And it's so incredible. And then we talk about how she's going to leverage digital products along with her subscription box services, or subscription box, I should say, not services, her actual subscription box. And then we're going to talk about how she's spinning up a whole second business around how to share what she's learned about creating subscription boxes with other female entrepreneurs. So let's dive on in. You are listening to the Empowered Business Podcast. I'm your host, Monica Froese, a mom of 2 and your secret weapon to creating a 6-figure digital product business. I'm on a mission to help 1,000 women make $100,000 a year. That's right, $100 million towards financial independence for women. As an online business expert, I am teaching you everything I know right here week after week, so you can join us on the journey to $100 million. Sound good? Then let's jump in. Jessica, welcome to the Empowered Business Podcast. I'm so excited to have you today.
Oh, I am so excited to be here, Monica. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so very welcome. You're one of my favorite people ever to talk to. And this is going to be such a great episode. I'm so excited. So before we get started, can you tell us about your entrepreneurial journey? Like why you decided to be an entrepreneur, what your business is, what do you do?
Yes, for sure. So I started working for a company right out of college that my mom had started. So she started it while I was in college. And then when I graduated, I came on and worked for her full time. But it was still very much like a startup. It was in healthcare education. And so I got this like really valuable experience, really working for a company that was in its very infancy stage and learning how to build a business from the ground up. And my mom and I together were able to grow that company to 7 figures within the first 2 years of me coming on full time. And it kind of just like lit this fire inside of me. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm helping my mom achieve her dreams and like building this business, and it's making all of this impact. And it's just so cool. And I loved my work there. But after about 14 years working for her, I started to get the itch. Like, I want to do this for myself. I want to build a business for myself and start building my own dream. And so that's kind of where it started. I didn't know what my business would look like. I didn't know what I would want to do. I just kind of had this desire. And I just kind of remained open to different ideas. But the idea for my business really came to me completely out of nowhere in the shower. One day I was getting ready to shave and I was about to steal my husband's razor. And I just kind of thought to myself, man, shaving kind of sucks. Like, it's just such a chore. Like, what's the deal? How can I make this better for myself? What would that look like? And I just started thinking about like fun products that maybe I would want to try, or like how I could, take advantage of this time that I have in the shower alone to like multitask, right? Like shave and also have a little self-care. And I just, as I was thinking through this idea, I thought, you know what? I can't be the only woman who feels this way about shaving. Like, there are probably other women who feel the same way. And maybe this is something that I can build a business around. And it just felt so aligned. I felt really excited. So I left the shower that day with my idea and really just got to work right away.
So what year was that?
That was 2016. It was May of 2016 that I got the idea. And then I just kind of started doing a lot of research. I had no experience in e-commerce, in subscription commerce, physical products. That was just totally foreign to me.
Okay, so spoiler alert, the name of your subscription box is All Girls Shave Club.
Yes.
Okay, so the idea comes to you in the shower, which by the way, I will say that all of the good ideas on the universe comes because maybe that's because we're moms and like when else do we have unlimited time to think?
Yes,
Hopefully without being barged in on. I do lock the
it's
shower door at this point.
good for you. But it's totally the only quiet place that I ever had was in the shower.
True story. My husband walks in on me almost every morning and I started locking the door but he can reach the thing to like unlock the door because he's 6'3" and I'm like, that's not fair. Now I'm going to have to hide that. This is my alone time.
Yes, don't bother me.
So, okay. All Girls Shave Club, like the concept comes to you in the shower, but when did the idea for a subscription box come to you?
Yeah, so that actually kind of came after I left the shower, right? As I started thinking about creating products that would be feminine and fun and unique and just enjoyable to use, I started thinking about, subscription is something that I loved as a consumer. I had a ton of different subscriptions myself, and I just loved the model, the convenience that it added. And so that's kind of when I adopted that, was right in the beginning. I knew that it was going to be a subscription-based business almost immediately.
And was some of that based on automatically knowing you were going to need that recurring revenue for this to work?
Honestly, I didn't know the power of recurring revenue at that time. I really didn't. It was just kind of like this idea of convenience. I was coming at it from a consumer standpoint. Like, I liked having things delivered to me. It was easy. It made it mindless. And then as I started learning more about the model and learning more about the business, I realized, okay, this is going to be very, very important. And it has served us really well over the years.
I can imagine. Okay. So you have limited experience, if none, in sourcing products at this point, right?
Oh, girl, none.
Where did you be? Aside from going to Google, which I'm assuming maybe that is where you went, like how fast did it come together?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the idea came in May and I didn't actually launch until December 28th of that year. So it took almost that full year to get everything lined up and working and all of that. So I think that we often underestimate the power of Google. Like when we're thinking about starting something new, we think, well, where do we start? But literally Google was my best friend. I started there. I found a site where you could find different manufacturers that create different types of products, or you could put out like requests for proposals for different products that you're looking for. And so I just started there, and it was like a rabbit hole of like manufacturer from manufacturer from manufacturer. Like I was testing so many different shaving systems and razor burning my legs to shreds and just going through the motion of trying to find the really right fit for us, what I was looking for.
That kind of reminds me of Sarah Blakely from Spanx's story, because I watched her masterclass, which is masterclass.com.
Yes.
Very fascinating things are on there, by the way. P.S. If anyone's interested. And I did binge her whole and I will say, like, masterclass, it's like if you're used to consuming online courses, well, and maybe I'm biased because my online courses are very detailed. Masterclass is like the high level experience. And she talks about when she started, like, Spanx didn't exist. She had to like try different manufacturers and material and be meticulous. And it wasn't just like, it's not like she knew how to create it. She had to go source it. And where do you, it's trial and error, right?
No, nobody teaches really these things. And especially if they already have like a competing company, they're not trying to share that information with you, right? So it's definitely just figuring it out as you go. And I think that we underestimate ourselves, and it is possible.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you launched at the end of 2016, did you launch with like how many different variations of shaving and like the products that go with it did you launch with?
So we had quite a few different options, and I have since scaled that way back. But you live and you learn. So when I first launched, I launched with multiple different types of razors. So we had a flat 5-blade system, a 3-blade system. And then in addition to that, we had the traditional subscription box where we were sending like curated goodies and shaving products to try and that kind of thing. And so we were just kind of throwing it all out there. And what I learned was really to listen to your customer and to provide what it is that they're truly seeking. Like our ideas might be we might think they're really awesome, but it's really about what people are going to want to buy. And so we have since scaled that way back. Now we have a new razor system that is a 6-blade system, and we have our own line of shave butter. And then we also do add-ons and things like that.
Okay. Are you still shipping out of your house?
Yes, ma'am. We sure are. We transitioned. My basement is unfinished. It was pretty large, about 2,000 square feet, and transitioned it into a warehouse. It has
That's
all
amazing.
the industrial shelves and its own entrance and that kind of thing. So I have people come, and my helpers, my packing fulfillment team will just come in and ship the orders, and it's amazing.
How big did you get? How many subscribers did you have before you hired help to put these boxes together?
That's a great question. So my husband has helped me almost since the beginning. He's a firefighter, so he has like 3 days off in between his shifts. So he helped me almost immediately from the beginning. But I would say we hired somebody once we got to about 500 subscribers, probably around there, 500 to 600. Yeah. Now we're not shipping like in one big batch every month. We're shipping in like on anniversary style shipping. So as soon as somebody renews, we ship within 3 days. So it kind of makes it a little easier where we can ship smaller batches each day versus having to, ship thousands at once.
Gotcha. How does shipping work? Like, did you negotiate like different rates? Like, how does that even work?
Yes, that's such a good question. So there's this software that we use called Pirate Ship, and they use the power of aggregate buying to be able to offer small businesses like mine the lowest USPS commercial rates available. So all of us small businesses are buying product or buying shipping right from them, and so they're able to pool us all together to give us the very best shipping rates.
See, I wouldn't have known any of this. This is completely new to me. When do you think, so you launch at the end of 2016, when do you think you really had it down to a smooth machine?
So I think I talk about this a lot, actually. I really poured the first probably 4 or 5 months into building out my systems and my foundation. I was not at that stage trying to acquire like a madman. I really wasn't trying to grow the subscriptions. I was really trying to figure out how to run the business because it was brand new for us. And I think that served us really well. So about 4 or 5 months in, I felt like we were really efficient in what we were doing, but that has obviously since improved time and time again over the years.
Okay. One of the things you said when I said, how long from conception to when you actually launched? And you're like, May to December. So about a year. And I'm thinking, no, like 7 months. That's incredible. I feel like it would take me so much longer. So first of all, like that is and especially for someone who didn't know anything about like sourcing, because think about it. I've asked you about postage. How do you actually package it all up, where you package it all up, then the packaging itself, then the actual products, which you had to test. I mean, that is an astronomical amount of stuff that you put together in a very quick timeline. Mm-hmm. Also, because I know your brand so well, you have an amazing website. So where, did you build that? Did you hire someone? Where did that come from?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I do love it too. I have a wonderful designer who worked really closely with me. I kind of shared my vision of how I wanted it to function, like the flow, the process that I wanted to take, the journey, I guess, if you will. And she just made it so beautiful and so spectacular. And so she really gets all the credit for how it looks. But fun story is we were getting ready to launch December 28th, and I had hired somebody in the beginning of December to start building our website. And man, it was a lesson that I needed to learn early on in firing fast, but I didn't. He was showing red flags, like the website wasn't coming together. My launch date was approaching. There was still nothing to be seen. I was panicking. And finally, we were a week away from the launch date. And I said, are you really going to have this? Are you really going to have this done for me? And he was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. Here I am a week before launch. The holidays are coming. What am I going to do? I literally had to find somebody and beg them to put together a website for me over Christmas before our launch date. So it was a terrible lesson in firing fast as soon as you see these red flags with these types of things and not having contracts in place. Oh man, big newbie mistake.
You know what? I think everyone makes it. I have stories as well, as you know, but that's okay because that's how we learn, and that's totally. And you probably chances are we'll still hire either a bad seed somewhere along the way again, and hopefully we just act faster the next time that it happens. Okay, so from here now you have your subscription box. How many members do you have now?
Several thousand.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's just from nothing, from a shower idea.
Yeah.
But think about that. You built, and what I love about physical products, and I've said this many times, because I don't get the gratification of this, the manifestation of being able to hold your brainchild and use it.
Yes.
You don't get to do that with digital products. And, that is something, I guess the closest I've gotten is for photo shoots, I print out our workbooks and our ebooks and stuff. And that's pretty cool. I will say that.
Yeah.
Just to see all the work. Like I know the Pinterest ads course was 800 pages when you put it into a Google Doc.
No way.
Yeah. And I had to do that for the copyright because we copyright all of our stuff. And I thought, wow, like that, it's hard to really see all that work and effort when it's broken out over lessons. But when I put it in that Google Doc, and that didn't even include the videos, it was like, whoa, like
that's
this was
phenomenal.
A lot of work.
Yes.
But to see like the box every month come out, and I'm sure you do unboxings and stuff. Like people probably send you unboxings. Like, isn't that so rewarding to see that?
It really is. There's something about seeing other people holding your baby, right? It's just like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing and it's happening. And like, we're serving these thousands of women all across the US and Canada. Like it does blow my mind. And oftentimes like, if I'm having a bad day or if I'm feeling down on myself or whatever, I'll run down to the fulfillment line and I'll like pack a few orders and I'll like feel it. And I'll be like, listen, this is going to, Rachel in Pennsylvania, and I'm putting this together for her. And she trusted me with her dollars. And, it just fills me with gratitude, to be able to do that.
And you're helping women with something we do every day too. Like it's actually benefiting the person who's buying it in real time almost. It's not like they're just, I've gotten many subscription boxes where I put it on the shelf, and I don't open it and I'm like, oh, I should probably cancel that thing because but this is like a practical thing and you make it so pretty too.
Yes, like, I try.
You do you do. I know you think it's funny too, like, cause you have boys, right? Yeah. I have girls and I'm like, I feel like your business is the manifestation of the girls you did not have.
Oh my gosh. You just said that so perfectly. I always joke about that. Like I never had the girl. So this is like my baby girl. Like it's the way I can pour all of that girly vibe into something physical.
And you do really well with it. Like Jessica sent my daughter, who at the time was 7, a box full of really awesome stuff. I forgot why. Oh, because I signed up, which I still have to get back to. I still have some refills because I had bought in bulk with like the razor. I used a different razor from the store for a long time. I'm still trying to get through my bulk. So
because you stocked up for COVID, right? You were like, I'm not running out of razors.
Yes. True story. I did. So I'm still working through my backlog, but you sent her so many, like we sent you a video on Voxer because she was so excited. There was like, she still has the stuff, like little makeup things and hair ties. And like, I could just tell. I'm like, I think you're more girly than I, and I'm the one with the girls. And so she was so excited about it.
Oh, okay, she's sweet.
One of the things you did that I think is ingenious, and this is going to lead into, we are going to tie this into digital products in so many ways, like to tie it in. But before we do that, you launched a secondary box, which I think, as having a daughter who will be entering her preteen years sooner than I'd like to admit.
Oh, I know, mama.
Which just kind of gets you right in the heart. It's like, she was just a baby. What just happened? I don't know. I don't understand how that happens. I'm still in denial, but you have come up with something that's, I think, sorely needed and serves. It's not just a product, it really does serve. And that is?
Yes, it's called Shine Girl, and it's a first shave kit for beginning shavers. Oh, it was like truly a product from my heart. Like it just was something that came to me I really wanted to be able to, make her first shave experience magical and special and take out the awkward and take out those feelings, that they might be going through of being uncomfortable or having to feel like they have to hide it or something like that. So
I did. I hid it.
Yes. See?
I have an older sister, and I actually vividly recall we were in Florida. So we went on an annual trip every year, and we live in the Northeast, right? So most of the time we are not wearing shorts.
Yeah, you're covered.
So here on Easter, we go down every year to Florida. And so I remember feeling very self-conscious that year when I put on shorts because my legs were hairy, and I knew my sister shaved, and I knew her friend was with us. I knew she shaved, and I knew my mom shaved. And I'm like, oh, I feel like this should not be the case. And I didn't want to wear shorts. And my mom was like on me because it was so hot down there. I don't like heat as it is. And she's like, Monica, you can't wear long pants to the parks. You're going to be so hot. Yeah. And I wouldn't tell her why and wouldn't tell her why. And I remember trying shaving by myself with one of their razors in the shower very vividly. And I why didn't I just tell her? I don't know. But like, I have to imagine a lot of girls maybe don't know to ask, or parents don't even think about broaching it with them. Like, I don't think it even occurred to my mom to broach it to me, even though we talked about other female things. For some reason, that just wasn't one of them. And so I love this idea. I plan on buying one so what age would you say that most moms are investing in this for their daughters?
Yeah. So we actually poll them because I wanted to know. And we find that the most common time period is between 9 and 11 years old.
She's going to be 9.
I know, it breaks your heart to think of it, but a lot of moms say that they're keeping it in the closet just because they want to have it ready for when she is ready. They're just kind of like keeping it on standby.
I was thinking maybe I have like 2 or 3 more years. Okay. Well, this is good to know. I should get one in the closet soon then, because knowing my daughter, she will be asking sooner than I anticipate, which is been my
hard.
Experience.
It is so hard.
Before we start recording, we talked about how that box particularly has a lot of opportunity to pair digital assets. So digital product type things with it. And I had asked you, is this from an acquisition standpoint, meaning you develop digital assets to be able to acquire customers, or is it from being able to increase your profit margin? So one of the things that like Jessica and I have known each other for a long time, and we have this interesting dialogue about it's just so different. The digital products are so different than physical products. And she's like, man, your profit margins, I love your profit margins. I'm like, me
so
too.
Jealous.
I love my profit margin too. But then I'm like, I love the physical manifestation of what you get to do that I don't get to do. So there's like definitely pros and cons to both. So, but there's this bigger conversation of being able to marry those two together. So tell us your ideas with that.
I love it. I think, like you said, physical product sellers are always looking for ways to improve their margins. Like that's like the number one thing. So digital products just present a whole new opportunity to doing that. And so I started thinking, especially when you launched the lab, I was kind of like, okay, what can I do within All Girls Shave Club to kind of, add some profit maybe, but also be able to reach different audiences that maybe I wouldn't have been able to reach with my Shine Girl box. And so I started thinking about that. And inside the Shine Girl box, we have a little guide booklet. It is a physical booklet, and it kind of is filled with like teaching, tips, tutorials. There's some journaling activities and affirmations. It's all about enhancing the experience, but also promoting body positivity and self-confidence and like those types of things during those special years. And so I thought, how can I take this and make this a digital product? So we not only made it digital, but we also enhanced it. We added, extra journaling activities, extra types of things that she might be able to experience, because we knew that this would sell on its own, separate from the box. And so we kind of created a mini version of the box in digital form. And so this will be able to reach people that may not have been able to buy the box, for whether that's a financial reason or whether that's because they live in a country we don't ship to. You can reach all sorts of different people with digital products. So
yes, because it's a great way it's a great way for people to get to know your business. So
Yeah,
lead gen. So there's that
for
with
sure.
digital, because that is another struggle besides going for e-com for physical products, besides going into running like Facebook ads directly to the product. Digital product sellers have a lot of opportunity outside of just going straight to sale. And e-com really hasn't historically had that. I mean, when you look at e-com ads, they generally go direct to sale, and those can be higher cost ads. Plus your margins are already slimmer. So it's like,
Yes.
that's where I feel like physical products really have like, that's the con to them. But to
Yes.
flip that around, then when you come up with these digital assets, it's a way for someone to get to know you and your business and your mission and how you can help them. So there's that.
Totally.
So your
Totally.
lead gen can be cheaper to bring people in to get to know you. But then on the flip side, it's almost like, so we have a mutual friend that recommended the American Girl books to me for my daughter about puberty, because her daughter's a year older than mine. And I was like, I think we're entering some conversations that I need to like navigate here. And she recommended this book. So what did I do? I bought it. And I was thinking, and we were talking about earlier, like for shaving,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a guide that's a digital product.
Totally.
And I love the idea of journaling. Actually, one of the school counselor mentioned to us for our daughter with just COVID has brought up, I heard that 40% of children are in some sort of counseling now since COVID, just like to deal with, we haven't dealt with these ramifications in a decade. And even then it was a different world, so, or not a decade, I mean, a century, not a decade, a century.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that they mentioned to us was journaling for her to help her express her feelings. Well, I have to imagine that's the same about when they're going through puberty, this first shave experience. Like these are things you can provide to them. And then like those digital products could also be physical products that you put in, that you print off. And actually, like you said, you have the booklet that can be the physical thing you put in.
Yeah.
But there can be a digital version that you sell for someone who, like me, someone who's like, okay, when do I have to talk about this topic with my daughter?
Right.
Maybe I'm not ready for the kit yet because I'm like, maybe in like a little bit of denial that's going to happen sooner than later. But I would totally buy the book, like we can sit on our iPad. Like my daughter doesn't even know how to, I asked her the other day, do you know that when mom searches on Google, she types and she's like, you don't talk to Google? I'm like, no, I type in a browser. And she's like, what's a browser? Oh my gosh. Search is changing, so like if she is more likely to read it on an iPad and flip through it than she is to pick up a booklet that I give her,
Totally. That makes so much sense. I think that there's just so much room for figuring out how you can reach customers on different modalities. And that can go vice versa as well. Like if you already have digital products, you might be able to manifest your digital products into physical products in some way or some concept, Yeah. So I think there's just opportunity for both.
One of the things I've been thinking a lot about is how I can do more physical product branding, like brand awareness. Because when you're in the online world and you do summits and stuff, and sometimes you get these branded boxes that will come and
so awesome,
from the person.
Right?
Yes, so awesome. And I got one from Chelsea. She was on episode 8 from Smart Money Mamas. She sent me a box. I was in her summit and she sent me a box, and the sweatshirt is like the most comfortable sweatshirt I ever, and I was wearing it on planes and everything. And like, it had her branding on it, very smart.
So smart.
Like one way for a digital product creator to manifest the branding, and like that goes with brand recognition and all of that stuff too.
Yes. Oh, that is so smart.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also like branded boxes too, to send to like new clients, for people who do like group coaching programs or masterminds.
Yes. It just like elevates like that wow factor, right? Like it just kind of like cements the relationship. I just met a woman who has a digital business. She has a membership for nursing students. So she helps support them through nursing school by cutting through kind of the noise, I guess. And she is creating these study boxes that she can ship to her customers or to her members who want like physical tools to help them study. And I just think that's just so smart because it just really establishes the relationship on a deeper level.
Yes, I heard someone say recently that they invested in a higher price program that wasn't really all that great, but the welcome box was so amazing and wow that it made up for the investment. Like they were so blown away
Oh.
by it that it like changed their perception on the lack of wow that they felt in the program when the box came. Isn't that
Oh,
funny?
that is fascinating. That is so fascinating. I wonder if like that could be a strategy, right? Like even with Facebook ads, like doesn't it seem like intrinsically more valuable if you sign up for a program or something like that that has like a physical component, right? Like even if it's just a t-shirt.
Yeah, it does. And I know a lot of male marketers try that.
Yes. Yes.
And I have to say, I don't necessarily resonate with the way they do it. It seems not, it just, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's a very like feel good way that you could implement it. And this is something we're looking into, but okay, so it's going to lead to my next thing about digital products with you, because someone like me, I don't know where I source any of this. Like I get these boxes in the mail. I'm like, this is amazing. Who like made the actual packaging of the box and where did all this stuff come from? And that feels overwhelming to me. I don't know where to start. So we don't. And so, and so now you have all of this knowledge that you have gained. And so when you joined the lab for the founders round, you joined earlier this year and you decided that you wanted to, because digital products, one of the main types of digital products are essentially info products where you take your knowledge and you teach it to other people. So now you have all of this knowledge about subscription boxes. And I know because we've talked about this for years that you wanted to impart this knowledge on other people, but one of the struggles people have with digital products, and I think you felt it as well, is you're like, but I know so much. Where do I even start? Because it's just such a behemoth to even think about.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
And so then you're like, and that's not your main business. So you're like, well, you just never got started. And then you joined the lab and you said, I'm going to do this. So you did. And what did you create?
Oh my gosh. Well, first I just have to say that the lab was amazing. It was exactly what I needed, because you're right. We had been talking about this for so long and it is overwhelming. And the lab gave me permission to just create a small piece. I didn't have to create a massive course or like this massive high ticket thing. It was like, you can just create something beginner level. It's okay to do that. So that was really amazing permission. And I really needed that. I created an ebook called Subscription Box Essentials. And it is like a comprehensive guide to getting started in creating a subscription box business. 16 chapters and a ton of worksheets and checklists and resource lists and just templates, all the things that you're going to need. So I'm super proud of it. And I'm just so grateful for you for helping me bring it to life.
Well, we say in the lab, and when I say lab, for people who are new, the Empowered Business Lab is what it's called. We say, I'm always telling people, one problem, one solution.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And don't try to boil the ocean on your first product because in the digital product world, one of the best ways to because we all know in business in general, acquiring a new customer costs more than keeping your customer, right? Totally. And you know that as a subscription box owner, how long you can stretch someone being a customer costs you a lot less than going out and trying to acquire through cold channels like Facebook ads, right?
For sure.
Same is true for digital products. So if you start out by putting everything into your first product, where do they go?
Right.
And you overwhelm them to top it off. Totally. And you have to charge more for it. And then people don't get to know you and how you teach. And so product ladders are much more effective for digital products. Now that you have your ebook with the workbook, the worksheets and everything, people now get to understand, first of all, you're not overwhelming them. So you're giving them beginner steps, like how to get started. For someone like me, who's like, I just want to create this box to send to my clients and customers, and I don't know where to start. I don't know, where would I start? And you're solving a smaller scope, but then as people get to know you and like the way you teach and like, okay, now I'm up leveling with her, your product, and then your product ladder, what's next? And oftentimes people think they have to have the end for the product ladder. Yeah. And sometimes that works for people. Sometimes people do work backwards. I would say with my Pinterest advertising course, I work backwards. I had the behemoth of a course and then I stepped it back and I was like, oh, I think I need an entry point for this.
Yes.
And so I did work backwards in that regard. But that can be very overwhelming. And like for you, you're running a whole separate business right now.
That's
So
right.
like you didn't have time for a whole like signature course yet before even validating that people were going to buy that entry point from you.
That's
Now,
so true.
the other thing people teach is like you could have, and the whole let's just do an opt-in and collect email subscribers, but that's not good unless you have something to sell them, because that's actually a waste. So we always want something to sell to them before we collect them.
That is such good advice, because I was doing that for a while, just from being a guest on podcasts or just like whatever visibility efforts people were getting on my email list, but then I had nothing to offer them. So I love that you teach it that way. And I love that you give people permission to just do it in steps. Like, we don't have to have it all figured out. It's okay. It's really okay.
And you mentioned before we started recording that because it's not your main business, you haven't had a ton of time to go attract cold leads to this, but you have sold in your warm audience. It has been selling. And I know you've shared some screenshots of people who loved it.
I know. That is the best part, when you hear from your customers that like it really made a difference in their life. Like, oh my gosh, it just literally gives me all the goosebumps. Like I feel so, so proud. It's about making an impact. I think I shared with you before, like for me, I make my money and my income from All Girls Shave Club. And this is great. And I do want to make, income from this. We're not working for free, of course, but for me, it's really about the impact and about providing an opportunity for women to follow their dreams and do the things that they want to do. My business has changed my life. And if I can teach you how to build a business that can change your life as well, like I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's where I feel like digital products can really shine too, is the scalability of how many people you can reach. Like one of the reasons that one-on-one services, first of all, like you're limited by time and all that stuff. But also, if I worked like one-on-one building people's funnels, let's just say, how many people could I work with in a month?
Right.
Versus how many people can I help in the lab? And then you saw like, there's just so many cool digital products that people come out with. So like, it's like this web of like, because I can help hundreds of people at one time, then they create products that they then can help hundreds of people. And like, when you just go out like that, and like you're teaching other women how to build subscription boxes. So now they're going to start businesses. And it's just like this impact is crazy.
It is crazy. And then all the like interpersonal connections that are happening. It's wild. It's kind of hard to wrap your brain around. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I love it. So now in terms of where you're going with digital products, like what's next for you?
Oh, that's a loaded question I wasn't ready for. You just told me I could take baby steps. I'm just kidding. I do have some plans on the horizon. We're actually looking to create a membership that can really serve those who already have a subscription box, who want to learn how to really scale it and build a business that doesn't consume their life. Because a lot of times with subscription box or e-com businesses, we can get in the weeds and it's really easy to like let your business just overtake your life. And so it's been important to me to not just teach you how to start it, but also how to manage it so that it doesn't take over your life. I work my business, 20 hours a week at most. And so, that can be for them too.
That's a really good idea.
Thank you.
And now think about this. Now you have the guide in place to attract those leads, but you can attract those leads while making back the money because you have something to sell on the front end. And then you can funnel them product ladder into the membership. And it seems like, knowing you, that the membership would be great for your personality. Like the way
thank you.
Like working with other women and stuff, I can just see like that being something that you enjoy.
I do. I really do. I love seeing them win and like it click, it's just like, oh, there it is. Thank you. Yeah. I'm super excited.
Love that. Do you have a timeline? Should I hold you accountable to?
You are my best accountability cheerleader, I will say. So actually now that I have a teammate who's working on it with me, I feel like we're going to get it done sooner. So I think we're aiming to launch this fall.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing.
You.
In terms of All Girl Shave Club, do you have anything on the horizon with that? Or are you just very happy with where you are right now?
You know, we are in such a good place right now. I was so concerned about COVID and how that would impact our business. But, you know, having built the foundation the way that we did, we were able to thrive during the pandemic. So right now we're just kind of like growing and kind of growing slowly because I want to be able to manage it. Like, I don't want it to become this overwhelming beast that I have to like have all of these people in, manage them to manage it.
But what a lesson in the fact that one of the things we get to do is decide what we want our business to do and serve for our lives.
Oh, yes. And that is something that I preach all the time is like, do you really want to have a business that's going to be, multi-million-dollar business that's going to require a lot from you? Do you want a lifestyle business? What do you want? Do you really want to raise VC funds? Like, it's okay. It's okay that my goal is not to take over the razor market. It's okay that this supports my family and some of the women that work for me. And I'm totally happy with that.
I completely relate to that. My goals seem to shift depending, like, I think I have it in me. I tell my husband that all the time. I think I have it in me to create $100 million business. Like, I believe I could do it.
I believe you could do it.
Well, thank you. And you know what? Maybe one day I will. And yes. I think my vision for what Redefining Mom, what I want it to be, is that $100 million business. Mm-hmm. But I have a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I started the business to begin with was because when I was in corporate, I didn't get to see my 8-year-old when she was my 3-year-old's age very much.
Right.
And so I don't want to miss these years with my second child that
yes.
I didn't feel like I got to enjoy the first time.
Yes.
And so I've decided it's like so crazy because I'm like, my goal this year is $1 million. And honestly, it's a goal and I'm not totally married to it. Like, if we don't hit it, I will be happy. If we hit it, I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah.
But it's like, when in the world did I get to the point where I'm like, well, my goal's only $1 million, but like what? When was that ever going to be a goal? I need to like take the time to celebrate. Yeah. Like, one day you were in the shower and dreamt up this box and now you have several thousands of people who use it every month. Like, come on.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It's pretty amazing. You're right. We do need to celebrate. The joy truly is in the journey. It's not about chasing the moving target because it changes all the time.
Right.
So really find contentment.
That.
Yeah.
That is sound advice.
You can thank my grandmother for that because she taught me that.
I love it. Grandmas do have great advice.
You do.
So tell us now how people can find you, both for your box and also if they want to learn how to create a subscription box.
Yes, thank you. So my business is All Girl Shave Club. They can find it at allgirlshaveclub.com. And if you're interested in starting a subscription box business and you want to check out subscription box essentials, that's jessicaprincipe.com/essentials. And I have a coupon for $20 off. It is code EMPOWERED.
Yes. And we're going to put all of this in the show notes, of course, including the coupon code. And thank you very much for extending that to us.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to.
This has been so fun talking to you. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
It was. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Empowered Business Podcast. Let's stay in touch. I just opened a brand new Facebook group for digital product creators. Whether you are new to digital products or an existing digital product creator, our new Facebook group, Digital Product Insiders, is perfect for you. Head on over to monicafroze.com/group to join for free. See you here again next week.